Touchdown Jesus on the beautiful campus at the University of Notre Dame, as we're here on the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel for a Friday afternoon showdown between the host Fighting Irish and the visiting Louisville Cardinals. Thanks for joining us today alongside my partner Chris Daly. I'm Charlie Morris, and we're excited, Chris, to see what's going to happen on the field today. It's one of Notre Dame's toughest opponents of the entire year. Louisville, a very, very strong AA opponent.
Yeah, you could say this is the toughest opponent of the year. Back-to-back runner-ups in the 15 national championship game for D1 AA. However, in the spring 2024, D1 7 national champions. So this is a very formidable opponent, and they've only got better with a lot of freshmen coming in. 21 freshmen, actually, their largest class ever since the spring. So it's going to be a fun game and a very tight one today.
Yeah, Notre Dame, of course, having one of their best seasons in recent history, all the way up to 16th now in the power rankings after a amazing last-second walk-off try and conversion from Colin Artis last weekend against Ohio State. What an electric win for the Fighting Irish in a year where it seems like, Chris, a lot is going right for them so far.
Yeah, they really have some good energy headed into this game, and I like the Irish's odds to compete. They're just coming together at the right time right now for Notre Dame against, of course, such a good Cardinals team, as we mentioned.
Yeah, not only are the Cardinals a good team, but they have two of the best players in college rugby, number 11 and number 14 in white, especially as we are underway. That's J.B. Meyer, number 11, and Jack Eberly, number 14. Look for them to make an impact for the Cardinals. But it's Notre Dame with the ball first as we're underway here in South Bend, and Jackson Graham bobbles one, but comes up with it, and we're getting a look at Louisville's extremely, extremely stingy defense, Chris.
Yeah, stingy defense and prolific attack. You talk about J.B. Meyer. There's also Liam Johnson, number 12 today. He was one of the best players in all of sevens. He actually won the MVP in the championship game.
You saw the first time Jack Eberly gets his hands on the ball. He's third in the country in the AA level in points scored, 10 behind second place Dan Seymour, who's with Western Michigan, who is behind J.B. Meyer with 56. Leading the way at the AA level for Louisville. So two of the top 3 point scorers in that range are from the Cardinals, and their offense goes to work for the first time. Graham trying to bring down his man, who shakes it off. Louisville on Notre Dame's side of the field. Irish wearing their navy blue jerseys today after back-to-back home weekends in green. Louisville in the red shoulders of the jerseys that fade to red, and then red shorts as well. I should say white shoulders.
It's a good jersey matchup. I like it.
Have two very clean looks. I will have to agree with you on that one, Chris, and it's going to be taken back on the advantage, so Louisville will have a tap and go from inside Notre Dame's territory. They will kick it into touch. So decent start for the Cardinals as they look to strike first.
Yeah, that was Bliss Archibald, fly half here for Louisville. As a freshman, he has come in and made a big impact as their man of the match against Pitt, which was a 65-5 huge victory for Louisville.
And one of the things, we talked to Coach Hickey briefly before the game, and he was mentioning how this is obviously a very talented Louisville team, and the results, as you just say, 65-5, speak for themselves, but they haven't had an extremely tough schedule. I think they come into this game looking at Notre Dame as their toughest opponent to date, as Notre Dame looks at Louisville as their toughest. So certainly going to be a great matchup to see which of these two good rugby teams can prevail. It's the Cardinals right now who are going to go to the near side. Fake pass from Ryan Camerata before he's swung down. Now they'll try with Devin Rosna in the middle. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with, but he loses the ball. Notre Dame takes it in the person of Owen Portelli, but they were offside, I believe. However, playing with advantage, so they'll bring the ball back on the knock-on.
Good energy there from Portelli just to get involved. He's a guy I expect some big things out of today, scrum half for the Irish. He's been having a huge season, and as a junior, he's one of the more experienced guys on this team, and you can really tell by the way he plays.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch his progression as he went from, some playing time with the JV team to last year splitting time between the JV and varsity levels, and now he's entrenched in the starting lineup. That's number 9 in navy blue today. He's got the ball, and he feeds it through the scrum. It's picked up by McKenzie, who continues to show why he's such a tough runner.
Stiff arm right there for Patrick McKenzie. He is, as we talk about, a brick wall. There's just no getting by this guy, and he's also so fast. He combines great size with great speed.
Louisville forces the turnover, though, and good field position for the Cardinals. And then you go to the far side. Camerata passes off. One more pass to the edge, well defended by the Irish as the flank attack from Louisville doesn't get too far. Cardinals continue to push it forward.
Promising start here for Louisville. 5 minutes in, ball has been, and they're attacking half the whole time. They're moving it around well. Irish defense has been doing solid to hold them up.
Yeah, and certainly advantage in play to the Cardinals right now as it's juggled but corralled. Good work by Baylor Kobalarczyk to bring in that one. He's number 13 in white. Grabbed that one with his right hand. Tackle attempt from Matt Williams as he brings his man down. In the middle. Nearly stolen away. They fight for it.
Good tackle there.
Yeah, great tackle. It'll be Louisville who continues possession, but going backwards right now on the attack. Notre Dame's defense with a statement stand right now.
Yes.
Quick tap and go from Louisville, but the ref will disallow that play from developing and blow it back.
It was Cameron Donlin right there trying to get ahead of the system, and Will Linke was in his face, and he just shoved Will Linke right in the face. So this game's getting a little chippy. Maybe with these two sides being very even teams, we could see that as this game goes along.
Yeah, certainly not a sport for the gentle, as that one's kicked into touch. You mentioned Will Linke. He's in the 11th spot today. The freshman from London has kind of bounced around this lineup a little bit. Coach Hickey trying to get him in different spots, but Linke's someone who at the start of the year was not starting every game, but has kind of made a name for himself and made it hard, Chris, for Hickey to take him out of the lineup.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about him being versatile. Is he just can't get out of the lineup. He can go anywhere, and you really want that in a player. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can, at the fullback position, he's phenomenal. Of course, when he's out in the wing as Irish, wow, Tom Bowman
with a strong run. He's tackled from behind, but first big offensive play for Notre Dame in this game. They'll be content through Portelli to kick it deep into Louisville territory after spending pretty much the entire first 6 minutes of this game defending. Louisville backed up all the way to their try line, and they'll choose the kick route as well. Andrew Packard will receive it for the Irish, and we'll see what their offense can do. Breaks one tackle. Packard sifting through. Tackled at the 5-meter line. What a run. Notre Dame looking to now put it away. They're within about 2 or 3 meters. Louisville's defense trying to make a stand. Linke out to the left side. Another pass picked up by Jennings. Jennings knifing his way. No signal yet. And the try. Patrick Jennings, the first scorer of the game, and the Irish lead 5-0.
Phenomenal from Notre Dame. And it all starts on the defensive half. Tom Bowman winning it, progressing the ball forward. He just kicks it down the field. Great field position for the Irish, and then they punch it in. That's something Notre Dame has had to work on all season long. Efficiency in the 5-meter area, and that's just what they showed right there. Huge start for the Irish against, as we talk about, such an elite team in Louisville.
And Patrick Jennings back into the lineup last weekend against Ohio State, so now his second game after returning from injury, and makes an impact in this one with the first try. Just about 7 minutes in. Conversion attempt upcoming from Colin Artis. Good a boot as anyone, and showed it there. Easily through. Plenty of power to spare. So 7-0 Notre Dame, and what a start for them after it seemingly felt like they played the first 6 minutes of this game purely defending deep in their own territory. They get a great run from Bowman. They get a great kick from Portelli, and then they went to work after that, especially Packard as well with that run back.
And this might be something Notre Dame tries to do. Sit back, play some defensive rugby, and then just get good field position from there. Kick it down, get your guys up, have a hard press. And that's what they did. It worked out for them on that one. And I expect to see that from the Irish, because this Louisville team is very well balanced in attack. Credit to Louisville so far. They've had a very stellar game up until there, and it was just the Irish breaking through, and Andrew Packard, of course, with a great play as well.
And it's one of those games where you look and you're like, how is Notre Dame ahead? It seems like they have not had the ball early on very often, but they've found a way through a couple big runs and one great kick. 2 great kicks, I suppose, if you can count the 2-point conversion. The pass goes high into touch. Question will be whether it was deflected. Notre Dame signaling that it was. Jennings was trying to get it out wide. And the indication is that there was a penalty, and Notre Dame was playing with advantage anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Charlie, one thing to keep in note for today's game, Louisville, this is their 4th game on the year. The Irish, their 7th. So up to today, Louisville has had a light schedule and 2 not many games. The Irish have been playing left and right. You talk about the game against Ohio State, but the Irish have had a pretty bulky schedule thus far, where Louisville very light, and that might play a factor in today about the rust and just the preparation for both of these teams.
Yeah, that's a great point, as Notre Dame has certainly been very active early in this season. Playing both at home here at Stinson Rugby Field in South Bend, but also plenty of road games for them. The line out from Notre Dame goes awry, so Louisville takes over possession once again. They will kick it into open space. There's Packard back to receive. It's Colin Artis, excuse me, and he's trying to find his way through. We'll leave it off. Artis playing in the back in the lineup against Ohio State in a big way. The try when they were down by 6 is with time expired against the Buckeyes last weekend. Artis the try, Artis with the conversion for the full 7-point play and the walk-off win. That's how Notre Dame captured victory in their last game. Seeing if they can make it another one here on this Friday afternoon. One of the earliest start times we've seen in the last couple of years. 5:15 was the first kickoff today. Especially, I should say, earliest weekday start time.
Yeah.
As they've played a lot of games, do the Irish on the weekends. But 5:15 was when this one kicked off. Still very bright out here in South Bend. The lights and the stadium are on in preparation of when the sun sets, but for now, plenty of light, good environment, very warm day. Not usual for this time of year in this place, but weather's holding up, and it's a great day for rugby as we're under 29 minutes to go in the first half. Notre Dame 7, Louisville still not on the board, but still with the ball. They've had a lot of possession early on, trying to wear this Notre Dame defense down.
They've really been using the left side of the pitch so much, the far side for you guys watching right now. And right now on the near side, I would like to see them utilize this side of the pitch because they really just haven't been there. Huge tackle from Ray Spades.
Yeah, great work. Just as they try to use this side of the field, they get dragged into touch, as that was J.B. Meyer, who is, again, 56 points this year
That's a freshman.
Dragged out of bounds, and so Notre Dame ball, or it would have been Notre Dame ball, but the referee, again, way back behind the play. So we've seen this a lot early on, these plays coming back due to advantage. So a great play by Notre Dame's defense, but all for naught as Louisville will get the ball right back at about midfield. Kick's going to stay in, though. Linky catches it, keeps it in, and Linky will boot it deep. This is what worked for the Irish on their first score, seeing if they can get it to work again.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see right now if you're Louisville, especially with Notre Dame kicking it. And look at this press that they have. It's going to be hard to get by this Notre Dame defensive line.
Yeah, both teams so strong defensively. Every point so valuable in a game like this. Couple juke moves from Gavin Wilson, number 6 in white. He leaves it behind him. Power run attempt. Ball looked like it may have been free, but it's recovered without much drama by the Cardinals. The move once again, right to left across their formation, trying to find some way to break through this Notre Dame defense. They try a kick there that's blocked, but recovered. Graham in on the block.
Notre Dame's defense is like a swarm of wild bees. They're just everywhere right now, stinging this Louisville offense.
Yeah, not much running room for the Cardinals at the moment. They'll now just try to kick it to gain some space heading towards the touchline, and it will go into touch. So Notre Dame ball.
Louisville exit kick goes out of bounds. Be a Fighting Irish line out.
So a great start for Notre Dame's defense, being pressed into action right away and holding very strong, arguably doing better than holding strong, forcing some turnovers and turning it into a 7-0 lead. We're just about 13 and a half minutes into this one. Thanks for joining us on this Friday afternoon. Charlie Morris alongside Chris Daly. And Notre Dame, Louisville, great matchup. Best matchup for both of these teams, toughest matchup on the season. If you look at rankings, stats, all of the above.
Oh.
Another block kick by the Irish, but the referee will blow his whistle.
Looked like my New York Giants against the Seahawks just about a week ago. Huge kick.
That was a crazy play.
Yeah, I was happy. I was in Hesburgh.
Knock-on called against Notre Dame, though, on that block kick, so it must have got him in the hand.
Come on, ref.
We have some Seahawks fans up here in the booth, Chris. What do you have to say about that?
Sorry about that, guys. Go Giants. That's what I have to say.
So it'll be a scrum for Louisville after the Notre Dame knock-on. Again, time of possession easily in favor of the Cardinals right now. Something like 85-15 advantage, but where it matters most, the Irish with an early 7-0 lead. Louisville, a couple nice one-handed plays. Now they've got some space. They'll try to kick it ahead. Linky back to rescue it, takes a bounce away from him, but then bounces into his hands. So here goes Will Linky, thrown to the ground. There's a strong tackle by Kobalarczyk.
Louisville has had a lot of success in their last line of defense, especially with their fullback, Ryan Camarada, just getting the ball and pushing it forward. That time it was Jack Eberle, the winger, and he did really well to move it forward. He was scored in the national championship game and the Sevens game this past spring. These guys are really fast, really talented.
There's Camarada on cue, brought to the ground. Strong tackle on Ethan Cochran, the junior. Ball carrier there for Louisville. One of 3 players on this Louisville team from Louisville, Kentucky, alongside Chase Kelty and Cameron Donlin, numbers 8 and 9 respectively in white and red.
Haven't seen Louisville go up the middle too much. They just tried to right there. It looked like it was Nick Hassis with the ball moving up the middle. It would be interesting to see if they can do that to break down this Notre Dame defense, because right now they need to try something different from what they have been doing, which is really just going out to the left-hand side of the pitch.
Certainly after a couple early fireworks, been a rather slow start. But there's a great play by Louisville. Bad bounce for them, though, is that kick attempt from Liam Johnson, a Sevens hero last spring. Took a bad bounce on him, and so Notre Dame recovers as it just landed in the hands of Matt Prame, saying thank you very much for that bounce.
Unlucky, but they answered the call. They did something different. They're going to have to be creative, because right now, this Notre Dame defense is just phenomenal. However, for the Irish, got to put points on the board again. And how are they going to do that? Well, right here, just moving the ball around and, of course, kicking it down, getting better field position, and then continuing their press.
And you think about how they've scored their points in this game. Just one long run from Packard set up by the kick from Portelli. Other than that, no real space for either team, even when it looks like someone may have a gap in the formation. There's great back pressure and good help defense.
Yeah.
Like, so little space out there, and it's just a defensive masterclass for both teams right now. Although one defense has been a lot more noticeable just due to the time they've been on defense. But give credit to Louisville's defense for when Notre Dame has had the ball briefly, other than the one try, they really have not had much.
Yeah, and it was also some individual brilliance on that run of play there from Notre Dame that led to the try. Andrew Packard had a great run. Tom Bowman was the guy who started it all on the defensive half. So just a couple of players just taking it for themselves, right, to be the leader of the team and to get it moving for the Irish. Louisville need that themselves, and they have the star power to do it, that's for sure.
Certainly no doubt about that, but it's Notre Dame with the ball in the middle of the field right now, and McKenzie will knock his man down. Both of those gentlemen took a little bit out of each other in that hit.
Hurt me to watch that one, Charlie.
It's crazy they do that with no padding. As Williams bursts through. Matt Williams, shoestring tackle misses, and Williams scores.
Matt Williams takes the line, cannot be stopped. Try for him.
Brilliant run for Matt Williams, and the Irish strike again.
Charlie just talked about individual brilliance. Matt Williams, mastermind right there, breaking down the defense, sees a hole and goes very agile, like a ballerina, just dancing around the defense right there. Huge try for the Irish, and the momentum they gained from that. I mean, you're up 12-0 right now, have a chance to make it 14-0 against one of the better sides in the whole country. This is huge for the Fighting Irish.
And it was Portelli with the assist, a little bit of a pick play, almost as Tom Bowman was Portelli's first option, ran past him as a little bit of a decoy. Certainly seemed to fool the Cardinals' defense. And another try for the Irish, and a conversion attempt from Artis is true. 14-0 Notre Dame leads just about halfway through the first half of this game that we expected to be a good one, and it has certainly lived up to that so far, Chris.
It has definitely lived up to the hype. I'm having a lot of fun right now watching this one. Both teams have done very well. The Irish have been able just to crack the code of this Louisville defense, to get in behind. Louisville needs to do something more. Right now, they are moving the ball. They do have good ball retention, but there's just something missing. Is it the Irish defense? Perhaps. However, Louisville needs to find something a little more, an extra gear. Someone just needs to take it to the next level to break down this Irish defense.
Yeah, you got to be looking at, like, who's going to be the one who breaks through the Irish line for that big, long run, or who's going to be the one who kicks it away and it takes a Louisville bounce. Certainly feels like the bounces of the oblong rugby ball right now are all in favor of Notre Dame. So it's kicked away by Portelli. It'll go into touch. We've seen Louisville on their kickoffs kick it deep into Notre Dame's territory. Of course, there's two real styles here. You can either kick it high and short and try to recover it yourself, or kick it deep and pin your opponent. Louisville has gone the pin route. Maybe we'll see if maybe they opt to change that a little bit.
Yeah.
They have had the ball a lot, though, so maybe they want to go for that field position. Have to see how it goes. It's a quick line out, very little setup, thrown in by Cassis.
Right now, somebody who's really impressed me, as he does every game, Patrick McKenzie, the 8-man for Notre Dame, the captain, 6'4", 250 pounds of pure determination. He's been having a great game so far.
Yeah, someone who Notre Dame can count on to be that good every single game, it feels like. Yet to miss one for Notre Dame, so very not only talented but durable. As here come the Cardinals. Woods, Matthew Woods, inside the 5-meter line, trying to fight his way. Still not in. But there's that burst through for the Cardinals offense. Can they turn it into 5? They are as close as you can get.
Irish have had a lot of good defensive stands so far this season. Can they have another one?
Some powerful running as Kobalarczyk trying to get it in. Still not across the try line. On the far side, oh, great pass, good catch.
Beautiful tackle there from Matt Williams, brings him down, but
try scored. Louisville's on the board as their hard work pays off. And they finally break through. They're on with their first try, and it's 14-5. That was some brilliant determination from the Louisville Cardinals. Couldn't quite tell who downed it in the try zone, but they will take it as they look to cut the lead in half.
Yeah, great run from Louisville. They're finally able to break through. It looked like it was Dylan McGivney and Matthew Woods, as you talk about, just making some great runs to get in behind the defense. Woods is the one who progresses them all the way to the try line, just stopped just short. Right there, Notre Dame's defense has been great all season long. However, Louisville, we have yet to see an opponent move the ball around on the try line like Louisville did. They really just got this Notre Dame defense guessing and eventually just bound to break down right there. Louisville punches it in.
And Liam Johnson was the one who appeared to down it in the try zone. The conversion is no good, which is not irrelevant. Still now a 2-score game.
So
it remains 14-5 as Johnson spinning off a tackle. Certainly didn't get it that far across the try line, Chris.
Yeah.
Got it far enough, and Louisville will absolutely take that. A huge moment perhaps in this game, as you knew that if they wanted a real chance, they had to get the next one, and they did.
I would say it's a game of inches, but looks like a game of centimeters right there for Liam Johnson, the inside center. And he's somebody we've talked about coming into this game. All-national tournament team for sevens. Was the MVP in the national championship game. He's been playing rugby for a long time, the junior. So phenomenal. Individual brilliance, just guys that are stars. Liam Johnson's one of them, and he produced a big moment for Louisville.
Think about the double-digit numbers on this Louisville team. J.B. Meyer, we've talked about him, how prolific he's been scoring so far this year. Liam Johnson with the try in the game for Louisville, also a sevens hero last spring. And Jack Eberly, third, the sophomore out of Oswego, Illinois, is third in points this year with 39, excuse me.
Nice little maul here for the Irish. This is some good stuff. Very creative play. Look at him go.
Wow.
Look at him.
This maul is not stopping. Bowman has the ball, but he's hardly the one doing the work as his teammates push him all the way down near the 5. One of the best mauls we've seen this year from Notre Dame, if not the best. Takes him down as close as you can get.
Just a freight train running down the pitch.
They're going to continue to try to use their physicality. Try to respond to that last Cardinals try. Louisville's defense in desperate need of a big stop here.
Yeah, get the ball in the hands of your big man right now. Looking at Tom Bowman, who had it, Patrick McKenzie, all those guys are so hard to stop as McKenzie's on the ball.
So Notre Dame had been playing with advantage. They try to go quick, but the referee was not ready. They'll figure out their system and hand the ball to Tom Bowman, who'll put it down. Referee having a conversation with 2 Louisville players. And awards a card. Wow. Yellow card against Louisville.
Yeah, Jacob Moore, yellow card. It might be dissent right there talking to the ref. Not sure. It didn't look like they were in too big of an argument. So man down right now for Louisville.
Irish take the penalty right outside the Louisville 5.
Moore goes to the sin bin.
Yeah, 14.5 to go here at Stinson Rugby Field. Notre Dame 14, Louisville 5. Notre Dame looking to add on, but it's in and out of the hands of Graham.
He's able to catch it though, Charlie.
Wow, what a recovery.
Great athletic play from Jackson Graham, eye on the ball.
What a spot by you as well, Chris. Eye on the ball. I couldn't tell whose hands that ball landed in, but good catch from you as Notre Dame catches a break, and Graham with a great play.
The Irish are moving.
Right there in the middle. They'll now go out to the right, and they'll score the try. Notre Dame with their 3rd try of the first half.
Fighting Irish try.
And what an effort it was, taking advantage of the yellow card.
Yeah, Jackson Graham is a guy we've seen a lot. Remember that explosive play to start the second half just two home games ago? Jackson Graham peels away there from where everybody is, and no one can stop him. The guy is absolutely massive and so athletic, as we saw with the play to keep the ball possession. It was almost a knock-on, and Jackson Graham said, no, I got to keep it. We got to score here, and he was the one who scored. So amazing play from number 6 on the Irish.
Graham just refused to be denied as Artis' conversion attempt is true. So that'll make it 21-5 Notre Dame. We're sorry about our technical difficulties with the score bug down, but we'll keep you updated as best we can. There's 13 minutes to go in the first half here at Stinson Rugby Field. Again, Notre Dame 21, 3 tries, 3 conversions. Louisville 5, 1 try and a missed conversion. So in a game where, you know, talked to Coach Hickey, Chris. He said, oh, this will be a tough one, but he has to be pleased with how his team has answered the bell through the first part of this first half.
You got to be really pleased. We're not lying. Louisville is legit. They sent 4 guys from last year, the Chicago Hounds, a Major League Rugby team's academy. So there are some top players on this Louisville team, and right now Notre Dame is just absolutely outclassing them in all senses of the word.
So in the midst of that, Chris, Louisville did try a different kickoff strategy. That ball goes into touch against Notre Dame. Race Bates trying to save it. But Louisville did kick it high and short, and they did recover it, but it was stolen away immediately by Notre Dame. Back in Louisville's possession now is also back as our score bugs. Now you can see 21-5 Notre Dame, and you got the clock up there as well. So thanks for sticking with us through those technical difficulties. It'll be a line out or a scrum or something coming here. It looks definitely a scrum, but some of the ball's in Notre Dame's hands, so maybe a penalty against Louisville before Bates was out of bounds.
Yeah, wasn't able to catch that one. However, it'll be Owen Portelli playing the scrum here. Scrum half himself from Canada.
As he usually does, out of Brantford, Ontario.
There we go.
In the middle of the field, now dropped by McKenzie. Tough pass.
Irish
frame.
Just trying to move too quick there, Charlie. They're going 1,000,000 miles per hour, maybe slow it down a little, and they've done very well thus far, but got a little too hyper, maybe 21 points, and they wanted to party a little.
You can't blame them for feeling it right now. Their offense has got to be pretty happy with themselves. It's already the most points Louisville's allowed in a game this year, and we haven't even played half an hour yet. A lot more runway in this one. Plenty of time for the Cardinals to get back into it, and plenty of time for Notre Dame to try to build as well. So we'll have to see what the next 50 minutes and change entail. Right now it's Cardinals ball. They are in desperate need of another try. When they went down 2 scores, they got a big try right away. Liam Johnson give up another one. Now they are once again in need of a score.
Yeah, it's a little different than their 85-0 game versus the University of Ohio. Just a little.
Yeah, that was their last game, and about as uncompetitive as it gets. I think, Chris, 85-0 might be the biggest discrepancy in score I've ever seen. Notre Dame has had a great season. Last year wasn't such success for them. It's not like they were, you know, bad or anything, but they did lose to Navy by about 70 points.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a pretty big deal, but
you ain't seen
85-0 is a whole different animal. That's what Louisville's coming off. Finding tougher sledding today against this stingy Notre Dame defense, but certainly an opportunity here on the Notre Dame penalty. 9.5 to go in the first half.
Great opportunity here for Louisville, finally getting into that 22-meter, 10-meter zone, and right now this is kind of a huge moment with 9 minutes left. If Notre Dame keeps it, chews the clock, Louisville, they're not going to have that many more chances to score in the first half, and you certainly don't want a 2-possession not leader. You're losing by 2 possessions going into halftime.
It looks like they're going to go for 3 points here.
Yeah, take the kick instead.
Just anything to get on the board. We don't see this too often, but in Louisville feeling that this may be their best chance to kind of stop the momentum a little bit, get 3 points, get the ball back from just beyond the 22. The run up, high kick is no good. It's touchdown by Artis in his own try zone. Kick was wide. Notre Dame will try to go quick to catch Louisville off guard. Kick it deep. The drop kick is dropped. It's going to be a knock-on. What a huge mistake there. Cameron Donlan just in and out of his hands, and he knew it right away.
Yeah, you don't see that too much. He's a senior, super experienced member of the 2022 National Championship team. Just a huge gain for the Irish, capitalizing on the mistakes, and that's where it comes into play that, one, they haven't faced good opponents, and two, they've only had 3 games to this point. Notre Dame, I mean, they're really in the back half of the season. The Louisville's just getting started.
It'll be a scrum for the Irish, and again, you can just tell Louisville reeling a little bit right now. Portelli's going to kick it. It's going to go off the head of Bliss Archibald, and I don't know, is that a knock-on technically?
Yeah,
you don't see it off the head very often, but I suppose since it's not the foot, it's technically illegal.
Technically another knock-on.
So it'll be Notre Dame ball, and they'll look to kick it into touch and gain some ground.
Yeah, pin them back and then just apply the pressure as they have been all half. Of course, they're a little tired now. They were playing a very high-tempo, high-energy system to start the first half, so you can see them. They're kind of starting to slow down the blue and gold. However, being in that area, I'm sure it's going to inspire them just to punch another one in, because at that point, then the lead's huge, and you could maybe start thinking about putting some subs in to get some fresh legs.
And we'll see when these teams go to their bench. Line out coming. Matt Williams will do the honors as per usual for Notre Dame. It's executed perfectly. They're going to go right into a maul. Louisville was ready, though. The maul's going backwards. But now it's taken by Bowman. He saw that it was failing and evacuated the scene. He's trying to take on 5 Cardinals at once.
And he does so kind of successfully. Gains about 2 or 3 meters. Tom Bowman is a unit.
Certainly is. He's got it now. Passes it off. Maybe another maul coming. One, kind of a tandem maul. Just 2 Notre Dame players. One pushing the ball carrier. Couldn't tell who was who, but either way. Penalty against Notre Dame. And that's a tough play for them. Also an injured Cardinal down over way on the far side of the field being attended to. Clock stops unofficially with 5:49 to go in the first half. Notre Dame with a 21-5 lead here at Stinson Rugby Field in South Bend.
Yeah, you never like to see these injuries. As for the game itself, Notre Dame's been doing great in the first half. Really could not have pictured anything better for the Irish. To be quite honest, it was quite nerve-wracking coming into the game. You look at the Rugby Hawk rankings, 33 for Notre Dame, 16 for Louisville, and that compiles everybody from D1 single A all the way to D1, however many A's they go down to. And Louisville, of course, was better, and a lot of that also came from the spring. But right now, Notre Dame, with their new recruits, they have a couple freshmen on the pitch, and then, of course, a lot of experienced players. I think Jackson Graham's been great today. He's a senior. Andrew Packard has been phenomenal, senior. Tom Bowman's been coming into his own as a sophomore. There's a lot of experience out here for Notre Dame, and it's showing that they can compete against some of the big dogs, so to say, of college rugby.
Yeah, the Louisville player who's injured is back in there. No worse for wear, so unsurprisingly, rugby players are tough. The line out coming for the Cardinals. It's tipped up, but Louisville does retain possession on a well-executed play. Oh, dangerous pass, but works perfectly. A little bit of momentum now for the Louisville offense. Stiff arm attempt from Camarada before he's brought down. Middle low tackle on Chase Kelty. Again, one of the 3 players for Louisville from the actual city of Louisville. And there's a break for Devin Rosna. Rosna still on his feet. Now he's brought down. There's a big run. Finally, a gap for the Cardinals. They're going to go way out to the left side now.
That all starts with the ball movement that they had. They were finally going back to their roots, how they started the game, just passing very quickly from side to side. And then all of a sudden, Rosna saw the hole and went. And he's a tough man to stop.
Yeah, that's like a bowling ball going down the bowling alley there. Devin Rosna for Louisville at 245 pounds. One of the heaviest players on this Louisville team. Dame's counter ruck here, unsuccessful. Nick Cassis trying to bulldoze his way.
Yeah, as a freshman, seniors like Rusna are scary.
The senior out of Broward County, Florida, Cardinal Gibbons High School. He's wearing number 1 for Louisville, as per usual. We saw a glimpse of what he could do, but once again, Chris, Notre Dame's defense gets the stop. They kick it away, say, live to fight another day, and they've been living and fighting every single day so far in this game.
Indeed they have, and they had a good kick right there just to reset a little, and now look at Irish with the ball, moving it quite nicely. I would like to see them maybe kick it. However, Linky can go, and when Linky gets running, he can move. However,
Irish playing with advantage right now. Sorry, Chris.
No worries, yeah.
Jumping into the ruck from the side is going to be called by the referee. Kind of a bench call there. You heard Notre Dame's bench go up in arms before the referee pointed it's Notre Dame's way, signaling the penalty. So good work by the Irish bench to be alert and call that a bench call. And they get it.
Yeah, the Irish just need to pin this ball back and just trap Louisville, win the ball back, and do their thing and punch it in. Maybe with the use of Tom Bowman, Jackson Graham, all these big guys in the front row who can make magic happen up there.
Yeah, if you're the Irish, you'd be absolutely happy to go into halftime with a 16-point lead, but if you got the chance to add on, you might as well add on. You never know. Still a lot of time left in this one.
Never hurts.
Just a bit more than 2.5 minutes in this first half and a whole second half to go, so a lot of wiggle room left. And you know, a team as good as Louisville and offense as good as them, 65-5 and 85-0 in their last 2 games, right? So this team can score. So you don't want to leave them lingering, let them hang around if you're Notre Dame. And if you're Louisville, you got to stop here, maybe even get some points on the board before the half ends. That would be an absolute best case scenario. But need to stop first. Notre Dame's offense has been at times methodical, at times prone to needing the big play. And today they've shown a little bit of both, and that's why they have 3 on the board.
Yeah, whatever works, and the more ways you can play, the better. Oh, wow.
Yeah, just both teams kind of moving the ball around. That ball seemed like it had springs in it for just a second, going off chests and hands and feet and all of the above, but referee's going to blow it dead before the ball bounces its way out of the state.
They were playing hot potato right there for a quick second. I would love to play if they can let me join. No, but seriously, never seen that before. It looked like a glitch in a video game. Has all the players, balls just bouncing away. As for Louisville, you talk about Notre Dame and their methods in attack. I would like to see Louisville not divert from what they do best, which is just get the ball, pass it around very quickly, because they have a lot of fast, athletic players on this team. Notre Dame is definitely bigger, especially in the middle, but I think if Louisville can use their speed to their advantage, they can really make magic happen and break down this Notre Dame defense. But it's going to be hard because we talk about this Notre Dame defense. They are one of the best in the country right now.
Maybe some space here. Good shirt tackle. Linky grabbed the jersey of the Louisville ball carrier there over on the far side of the field. Williams and Lucy combined on the tackle. Brendan Lucy in there at the number 5 position today for Notre Dame. He's been kind of one of those many who's kind of burst onto the scene this year for Coach Hickey. And Brendan Lucy went from our last broadcast, their last home game was his first career game, and he was not a starter, and he came in late in a blowout win, to then starting against Ohio State and now starting again today in the number 5 spot. So someone who's really come onto the scene, the freshman out of Cincinnati, Brendan Lucy.
Yeah, they trust him to fulfill a big role within this lineup, and he's been doing so to perfection so far. Hasn't really messed up, and he hasn't shown any signs of being a rookie. He's mature beyond his years, and he's kind of scary with that skull cap on.
So time has expired. Next dead ball will end the half. Here, the first half of this game. That is Chris called the Parsegian Cup. this matchup between Louisville and Notre Dame is Rosner trying to get the Louisville fans into it for a late half score, but there'll be a QR code up on your screen at halftime. You can donate to the Parsegian Fund. Just a great story there.
Yeah, phenomenal story. Eric Parsegian, a former head coach, one of the all-time greats here at Notre Dame. The foundation is named about him as he had 3 grandchildren who had Niemann-Pick type C disease, which is a genetic cholesterol storage disorder, and it primarily strikes children with death occurring before or during adolescence. So Eric Parsegian had 3 grandkids with the disease called NPC disease for short. It's just, you know, obviously a very sad story, but he's been able, through his name, to raise millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So again, it's just huge for the Notre Dame rugby program that they can help out this foundation, and it's a big part of Notre Dame, as Era is obviously a legend and has left an impact much bigger than football.
Yeah, so again, there'll be a QR code link here throughout halftime on your screen where you can donate to the APMRF to help with that cause. Notre Dame 21, Louisville 5. We're going to take a quick break for halftime here at Stinson Rugby Field.
In partnership with the Office of Development, Notre Dame Rugby has established a leadership-level gift endowment campaign with rights to name player field positions as well as coaching staff positions. As is fitting, one of the first commitments was made by Gay Lawrence Pang, an original club member from 1961 through 1965. For his first 3 years on the club, he was backup scrum half to the club's founder, Bob Meyer. This initiated a position change during his senior season when he was moved to fly half. During the fall and spring season, Mr. Pang played every minute of every match. The Irish had a dominant run during that period, going on a historic 25-1 run, culminating the 1965 season with a win over Toronto in the first Irish Rugby Invitational Final, which was played in Notre Dame Stadium on May 6, 1965, and featured in Sports Illustrated. Having never played a contact sport prior to his arrival at Notre Dame, Mr. Pang credits his old roommate and prop, John Morrow, for his encouragement to give rugby a try. He was voted by his teammates as most valuable player for the second side earlier in his career, and as most improved player, or second in voting for the MVP during his senior year campaign. He considers those rugby honors as highlights during his time at Notre Dame. The club rugby outlet made his 4 years at Notre Dame memorable due primarily to outstanding teammates. Mr. Pang graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering degree in 1965 and was honored with an inclusion into Chi Epsilon, the Civil Engineering Honorary Society, as a new University of Notre Dame charter member. His generous leadership gift has endowed the Gay Lawrence Pang fly half position, paying tribute to all those rugby players prior to, during, and after his tenure playing for the Rugby Football Club at the University of Notre Dame. Please join us in thanking Gay Lawrence Pang for his long-standing and continued support for Notre Dame Rugby. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on this Friday evening. Rugby action between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Louisville Cardinals. Notre Dame with a 21-5 lead as we get set for half number 2. I'm Charlie Morris. I'm joined by my partner Chris Daly. Chris, Notre Dame, a dream first half for them. What did you see out there?
A dream first half indeed. I just saw a lot of players living up to their billing and really come into their own. I think Tom Bowman had a great half right through the middle. The prop for Notre Dame was able to move the ball very nicely. Patrick McKenzie, as always, the 8-man, the captain, was just so consistent, doesn't really make a wrong decision, and he's hard to take down. So a very well-balanced attack for Notre Dame, and they were able to pin Louisville back, win the ball, and then go from there and get some tries. Jackson Graham as well, just rolling out for one try. He had a phenomenal half. So a lot of star players just having some great performances individually, and they're meshing well as a team.
Yeah, certainly meshing at the right time. Again, as we mentioned before halftime, it's the annual Parsegian Cup. So we're reminding us that although it's about rugby, it's also about more than rugby, right? So great cause here today, and there was a great halftime tribute here at Stinson Rugby Field.
Yeah,
for the whole event, and it's just, so sad to think about something like that, but so awesome to see a family like the Parsegians make a difference in the community.
100%. It's amazing, just the power of sports and how sports can really inspire people to make change beyond the field, beyond the pitch. It's just phenomenal, and the reason I love sports so much is just its impact, in life. But back to rugby.
Yeah,
got a good game ahead. Louisville is, as we talk about in the first half, a very strong opponent. Haven't put the points up. However, I think they had a good first half. They were able to keep the ball moving around, but the Irish were just able to find some gaps in their defense and just make the most of their opportunities, whereas Louisville weren't able to puncture this Notre Dame defense in the way they may have hoped.
So it'll be a kick coming. Notre Dame trying a long one for 3 points. Already with a 16-point lead, looking to make it 19. The kick has plenty of leg, and it's right down the middle. A beautiful boot from Colin Artis, one of the best kickers in the country, and showed it there. A long 3-point kick. Notre Dame goes up by 19 now, 24-5, and not many teams in this sport are going to try to kick for 3 points from there, but Colin Artis made it look easy.
It's great when you have guys like Colin Artis on your team that can make magic happen, and the confidence it takes, the coolness of mind, right? He didn't really look nervous. He just sunk it, and that was a deep kick. So great play there for the Irish, and 24-5. Again, a dream start. They had a dream start in the first half, another dream start here in the second.
Now, Notre Dame is not winning this game because of their kicking, but they are 4 for 4, 3 conversions and a field goal. So that's 9 points. Louisville is 0 for 2, missing a field goal and missing a conversion. So that's 5 points. So that's a 14-point difference purely based off the foot of Colin Artis.
Yeah.
That would have this game a lot closer if you reverse that. Of course, the fact that Notre Dame would be winning even without making any kicks would be impressive, but still, it puts in perspective how close this game could be if the kicking was a little bit more even.
Yeah, kicking is such an integral part of rugby, and the reason Notre Dame is also kicking it back and kicking it deep, and that's how they actually got, I want to say, 2 tries, is because they just want better field position. So you kick it back, you pin Louisville back, and then you can go from there. Colin Artis himself, those kicks you mentioned, has been a difference maker and a game changer. Oh!
Look at that play by Linke to keep it in bounds as the pass from Connor Mulligan new into the game for Notre Dame. Was about to go into touch, number 23 in navy blue. He's in for the Irish to start the second half, and a little bit too far in front of Linke, who almost made a brilliant play.
Yeah, a foul on Linke there, high tackle. Unlucky on that one.
Ball's kicked by Archibald into touch just before midfield. Line out coming up for Louisville, desperate to get back into this game. Now trailing theoretically it's a 3-score game, but they're going to need at least 2 successful conversions. And we just talked about how the kicking has been an issue for them in this game. And the lineouts haven't until then. Notre Dame snags that one.
That's ugly for Louisville. You can't be losing lineouts at this point in the game. You need to be sharper than that, especially coming off the halftime break. That's sloppy, and for Notre Dame, if that continues to happen, they need to take advantage, and the Irish themselves make sure they don't do that, because that's a way you could slip up in this game. Right now, I feel like the only thing preventing the Irish from winning could be the Irish. I don't think that will happen. However, if they get in their own way, they can make this a challenge for themselves when they don't need to.
Yeah, certainly going to be hard-pressed to replicate that first half where they were not mistake-free, but about as close as you can get. Very few errors for them, very few penalties that came back to bite them. Clean with the ball. Couldn't say the same about Louisville, of course, beyond the missed kicks. A lot of penalties, knock-ons in important times, and inability really to score when they got close, turning the ball over. Probably the biggest issue for them. So if they can clean that up, they're very much in this game. That scrum turns sideways, and Notre Dame's bench erupts as they force the turnover again. Another mistake from Louisville. Just something we're not accustomed to seeing from this Cardinals team.
Not at all. Out of 100 scrums, you probably only win 1 if you're the opposing team. And the Irish have been able to win 2 so far at home when they were the defensive team, so to say. So, huge game from the Irish. And this team is just, the energy is just buzzing right now. It's electrifying the stadium. The fans are feeling it. And of course, the Irish dugout.
Yeah, certainly a lot of energy over there on the Notre Dame sideline. Line out coming up. Williams will throw it in. 33 minutes and change to go in the second half. Notre Dame with the only point so far in half number 2 with a field goal. No tries for either team just yet. Is climbing the ladder is Andrew LaFranchi to secure that one. Helps lead to this chance. Packard is tackled by his counterpart Bliss Archibald. The number 10s combine on that play. LaFranchi back in there at the number 7 position. Coach Hickey said that that's his preferred position. He's been playing some 4 and some 5, but with Brendan Lucey's emergence, LaFranchi gets into his comfort zone in the number 7 spot. As there's a creative kick attempt from Artis trying to do it himself. It will be kicked away by Louisville out of bounds. So desperation attempt for the Cardinals as they're trying their best to prevent Artis from becoming a bigger factor than he already is.
Yeah, Artis has been just the X factor so far in this game. And as for LaFranchi, definitely a different role today. I would like to see him get a little more involved, a little more on the ball. It was good to see him right there because we know about the talents that he has. There was a reason why he was one of the highest rated recruits in the whole country. He was the captain for the high school national championship team, which indicates he was one of the star players on the best team in all of the land. So really would like to see him get involved a little more in the second half.
Yeah, that's Gonzaga Prep High School over in D.C. where he's from, Andrew LaFranchi. And we just saw a couple moments ago his ability to connect on the line out with Matt Williams. That play has worked really well for Notre Dame. You can tell that they've been practicing that one. See if they can turn it into 5, though. Louisville's defense showing a little bit of something right now, moving Notre Dame backwards. Looks like they're going to try for the maul. Bowman trying to push his way forward with a little help, but Louisville once again standing strong.
Here we go. Jackson
Very
Graham's,
little room right now.
Jackson Graham's had success in these situations before. He's on the ground right now for the ruck. However, he was on the ball. Oh, tough giveaway for the Irish. Sloppy play.
Yeah, great work by Louisville to force the turnover. Big defensive stop. We'll see if they can build off that. But once again, referee is going to call it back as Notre Dame looked like they committed the knock-on. So Louisville will get it back, drama-free. With just over 30 minutes to go in the second half, excuse me. Notre Dame 24, Louisville 5. And it's a scrum coming up for the Cardinals. It will be fed through by Donlin.
Can hear the dugouts all the way from the press box, and that is a bit of a hike too. So
Yeah,
A lot of energy from both sides.
Those dugouts way on the far side of the field, about as far as you can get from us and still not be on the road. Time continues to tick. No real rush from this Louisville team, in need of 3 tries and a couple conversions to at least tie. They finally do feed it through, and now they'll try to go the length of the pitch, and that's going to be a big chunk of that on this run. Look at the speed down the right touchline, but intercepted by Artis. He was kicked right into his hands. A huge run for Louisville, and they give it right back.
Well, when Ryan Camerata was recruited by Louisville, they said he is a threat with the ball in his hands, and that is exactly what he showed there, nearly going end-to-end for the Cardinals offense. Huge play, and that's just a good momentum boost right now for Louisville.
See if they can turn that. If nothing else, it's good field position gain for them, even though Artis read that play beautifully on defense for Notre Dame and intercepted the kick from Camerata. Louisville does have the ball back, so now it's basically like he was just tackled there. So
yeah.
Huge play by Louisville. If they want to get back into this game, it's got to start with some more plays like that. Nearly a break through the line for Archibald, but he's tackled by the waist. And a drop. Bowman picks it up. Notre Dame playing with advantage, and Bowman is going to try to rush it himself. Tackled from behind. That was high. No signal yet, and now the penalty called, and Bowman is down. And he's helped up. Good sportsmanship, and the 2 players will hug it off. It's Baylor Kobalarczyk for Louisville, who is on the tackle, and he's going to get the yellow card, 2nd yellow of the game for Louisville. And
props are not supposed to move like that. What a play. Tom Bowman, the big guy, getting forward. And he's had a phenomenal game. I've mentioned him a lot today. It's just been the heartbeat of this team. And look who it is checking in right now, Charlie, as Owen Portelli comes off. It's Zach Benton, who had a phenomenal showing last time out against Michigan State here at Stinson Rugby Field.
Yeah, Benton in that game that you're alluding to, his first career game, scored a hat trick in that one, plus a penalty try. So 4 scores for him in his first career game. He is not in the starting lineup due to scheduling reasons. He is healthy, and now he's in there. So he's served his punishment and is now gets a chance to make an impact, the no-numbered player for Notre Dame.
I like it. Maybe it's 0. That's what I'll go with.
Number 0, Zach Banton, sounds good to me. Artis trying to kick it ahead, just didn't work, and ref will bring it back when Notre Dame had been playing with advantage. I've seen a lot of that today.
Yeah, I like the idea of Notre Dame spreading it out, too, because a lot of times you're going to try to go right up the gut when they're so close to the try line. However, they've had success when they've pushed it out wide, and so has Louisville, actually, when they got their only try of the game. Just quick little passes, try to get the Louisville defense on their back foot, and then push it in. However, right now, Patrick McKenzie, the 8-man, with the ball, and he's moving forward. However, lost. Rusna with it.
Yeah, Rosna with a huge play there for the Cardinals, forcing the turnover as Notre Dame was within a few meters, if that. Eberle along the left side. He's taken down. Now it's McGivney. McGivney's a big man himself. We talked about the weight of Devin Rosna, one of the toughest men to tackle on the field. You can throw Dylan McGivney in that category too. 6'2", 275 junior out of Chicago.
We also got Connor Mulligan checking into the game for Notre Dame, number 23. So with their 24-5 lead, 25 minutes left, it appears as if Coach Hickey's going to the bench. He's going to put some fresh legs in. In the past couple of games, this has proved to be a success. Depth has not been an issue for this Notre Dame team. In fact, it's been their biggest benefactor so far throughout the season. These subs have came in so far and created big impact. Going to look to do the same today.
You'll see how much they continue to dip into that bench. All the way out wide, and there he is. Mulligan high-stepping his way. He's in for the try and grounds it officially. 4th try of the game for Notre Dame. Mulligan gets it done.
Well, welcome to the game, Connor Mulligan, and that starts with Patrick McKenzie. He fakes right, and then he goes left. It had the Louisville defense fooled. Everybody sidestepped with him, and then in the honor of the late, great Dikembe Mutombo, he said, no, not today. Goes to the left. Connor Mulligan gets it and goes all the way for a try.
And good recognition as well by Mulligan to take it to the center before grounding it, making it an easier conversion attempt for Artis, although it feels like, based on how he's kicking today, and we saw him in warm-ups as well, no matter where he kicks it from, it feels like it's going right down the middle. But hopefully I did not just jinx him as he lines up for trying to add 2 more points to Notre Dame's score.
Well, fingers crossed. I think he's got it, though. This guy is as cool as a cucumber.
And he missed.
Ah.
Naturally misses it wide left.
Wow.
So it'll still be 29-5, 24-point lead for Notre Dame, but
I was trying to get that good
certainly
energy back, after jinxing it, but it's all right. It's bound to happen. And Colin Artis has had a great game so far.
certainly a sheepish smile on my face right now after jinxing somebody who's been so impactful for Notre Dame in this game. Just such a calming presence with the ball in his hands. Always makes a good play, it feels like, and hasn't scored a try himself, although it hasn't been that long, Chris, since his last try. We talked about it briefly before, but the hero in their game against Ohio State.
Yeah.
The walk-off 7-point play, try and conversion in a 1-point victory. So every bit of Colin Artis was needed against the Buckeyes last weekend in what was a really, really emotional and hard-working win for Notre Dame. It's the first time this year they've won when their opponent scores more than 20, and now Ohio State had 39.
Yeah,
30 has been the magic number for the most part for Notre Dame this year. Needed 40 last weekend. Probably won't need 40 today, but see if they can punch one more across to get to that 30 mark.
Well,
but more importantly is keep the Louisville Cardinals at 5.
100%. And in college rugby, there is not a lot of parity because the good teams are really good, and the teams that aren't so good, well, they just don't have the talent. They don't recruit the talent as well. So for the Notre Dame-Ohio State game, that was one of the best college rugby games because you don't really see a game that is so even and so end-to-end, 40-39. As a kid, you dream up. I know you're a hockey guy, shooting slap shots, right, in the yard. Game 7, NHL final, pop, slap shot. Rangers win the cup first since 1994. I'm sure you dream about that a lot, Charlie. I did too with the New York Knicks, but a three-pointer to win the game. It's what you dream of, and Colin Artis, he's living out his dreams right now in this Notre Dame uniform.
I don't know how you read my mind, but there it is. And again, what was more special, too, about that Artis try was how late in the game it was. Of course, when the time expires, when the 40 minutes reaches 0, the game is not officially over. It's got to be a dead ball. As Notre Dame will make substitutions on the field. Christian Bardsley coming out of the game, Alex Adams entering, and Louisville will make some substitutions as well. Artis' try came about 3, 4, maybe even 5 minutes after the clock had hit 0. There was so much time between when the last dead ball was and when Artis was able to put it in. I mean, that is just like one of the best college rugby games you'll ever see. And the wherewithal to then hit the conversion attempt at the visiting team's field with all the pressure on. And it was not exactly right down the middle. It was about the same spot, give or take, where he just missed his last one here today, and he kicked it through with plenty of leg and curved it well within the far right upright, and absolutely mobbed by his teammates. It was quite the scene to watch that one. That one was streamed here on the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel, as are many of the road games for Notre Dame, but Chris and I are only with you for the home ones. Like today, we're happy to be here as Notre Dame putting on a show right now against Louisville, trying to go all the way out left. Mulligan will go one more to the flank all the way on the far side.
The subs have brought the energy, and this is something I talked about in the past that they have. Notre Dame has historically played better in the second half when the subs come on because they have the fresh legs. And the guys, in terms of talent, there's not that big of a gap, right? It's not like you're losing a huge amount of skill as Zach Banton, one of the subs, is running down a ball right now. But I'm loving what I'm seeing out of this Notre Dame team. They're playing fast, high-tempo rugby with 20 minutes left and a 29-5 lead. Just piling it up, stacking it up. It's been great to watch so far.
Yeah, you mentioned how the talent really never dips, and I think the best proof of that is in how different their lineup is every single game, whether it's injuries or whether it's other reasons that people are in or out of line. There's a block kick, and it'll just roll out of the back of the try zone as Matt Prame broke through the line and blocked the kick, and it just took a bad bounce on him, but nearly a breakthrough for Prame is, again, just as the point we were just making, their lineup is just like you never know who's going to be in or out for Notre Dame. And, well, you know guys are going to be in. You know Jackson Graham is going to be in. You know Matt Williams, Tom Bowman. Those guys, if they're healthy, are going to be in the lineup. But some of the other players, it's a rotation, and it seems like whoever comes in does their job. It's not like we sit up here and we look and we're like, wow, like this guy's a liability for Notre Dame. There are no real obvious liabilities on this team, and you can see it with the eye test. You can see it in the stats. When guys play, they succeed, and that's a testament to the coaching, testament to the recruiting, and testament most especially to the players for always being prepared when their opportunity comes. And for a guy like Zach Banton, took that opportunity against Michigan State and ran with it. Brendan Lucy took that opportunity and turned it into a starting lineup gig right now.
Yeah, out on the wing, Zach Banton didn't just run with it figuratively. He ran with it literally. He was running that ball.
It's a maul attempt from Notre Dame as they're trying to get their second try of the half. Ball's free. Linky will go all the way out Banton, and it's blown dead before Banton can pick it up.
Clever idea from Will Linky. I like what he was going for right there. That would have been something to see. And Linky, he's had a couple of those plays right in that area of the pitch here at Stinson Rugby Field throughout all of their home games of just magic. I remember there was one time where he kicked it over another guy's head, and unfortunately it just rolled away from him. But he's a little magician right there.
Yeah, lots of talent on this Notre Dame roster. And again, we talked a little bit about their team last year. Certainly had some good moments, had some less good moments, but there just wasn't this like flashiness that these new guys bring in. And of course, you don't have to be flashy to be good, but when you've got Zach Banton coming in off the bench and scoring a hat trick in his first game, that's something that would not have happened last year, right?
Yeah.
So that's just the new energy. There's something palpably special about this Notre Dame team from our distant vantage point up here in the press box, and you're seeing it in the game against Ohio State, that big walk-off win. You saw it. You're seeing it today here against Louisville, a team ranked 17 spots ahead of them in the power rankings. So
it's been really good to watch for Notre Dame. This is also going to shoot them up the rankings because they haven't necessarily faced a very, very tough opponent. Marion was the toughest, and in that game, Marion is one of the better teams in the country, but they haven't faced an opponent where it's like, okay, this is a reasonable game that we could win. I mean, Marion would have been a huge upset. This, even though it is an upset, Notre Dame still had confidence coming into the game. And this is going to be huge, one, for the rankings, as previously mentioned, but just for their confidence to show that they can go out there and they could lace it up and play against some of the best in the country.
Yeah, certainly they won't be focused on the rankings as much as they will be about that second point you made, Chris. But we like to look at the rankings to kind of get predictions for a matchup as we came into this one going, this is going to be Louisville's toughest game and Notre Dame's toughest game. And one team has seemed to live up to the hype right now, and Louisville just not getting that offense going. We were talking about J.B. Meyer. Haven't heard much from him, especially in this second half. Jack Eberle as well held very quiet. They only have one try, and it's from Liam Johnson, who is one of their best players, so that adds up. But, just feels like one of those games where if you're a Louisville fan, you look back and go, nothing went right for us.
Yeah, and for Louisville on offense, at times, they just haven't been able to put it together in terms of their offloads. It's been very fast and high-paced, but it's just been going laterally, and they need to go vertical a little more. They need to pin the ball back and press like Notre Dame does. Now, they're smaller than Notre Dame, which plays a factor in terms of physicality and winning the ball back. Notre Dame's defense has also shut them down, so it's a credit to Notre Dame as well. There has been a couple times, though, where they have used those offloads to progress a little bit, and then all of a sudden it opens up a gap in the middle like they want. But they can't force it, and at times tonight they forced it a little.
Speaking of forcing it, Connor Mulligan tried to force that pass, and Louisville thought they had a fast break, but surprise, surprise, the referee has called it back as Notre Dame was playing with advantage. We've seen that a record number of times tonight, it feels like.
Yeah, especially the past couple minutes hasn't been as open-ended as it usually is.
Head referee out there. He's done a good job today. Keeping control of the game. Certainly has had to use his whistle a lot. Interesting decision by Notre Dame to go for offense here. Certainly think they could go for 3 points from that position, but they're choosing to try to go for 5 or 7 instead.
Liam Flynn on Louisville with 2 huge tackles right there. He wasn't getting pushed back at all. Handled his business quite well, and that's something Louisville hasn't done. You could see right here, they're just getting pushed back as Notre Dame attackers move with the ball. In that case, it was Patrick McKenzie. So for the substitute, Liam Flynn, to come in and not allow that to happen, it's a big pickup for Louisville.
Yeah, both 17s in the game now. You mentioned Flynn in red and white. And for Notre Dame, Andrew Cansfield, the sophomore out of Toronto, Ontario, in number 17 in navy blue. Of course, not the only Canadian on this Notre Dame team. Owen Portelli, number 9 from Brantford. And if that town name sounds familiar, Wayne Gretzky's hometown, one of the greatest athletes of all time. And
the great one himself.
So Portelli, Gretzky, 2 great athletes from Brantford, Ontario. And
which one's better?
I'll let you decide that one.
We'll see.
There's a big hit. Wow.
Still has a legacy
collision
to build in South Bend.
Another sub into the game is Tom Curran, and he feeds it to Artis, and Artis is wrapped up. Injured Louisville player down in the middle of the pitch. And that'll draw attention from medical staff on the sideline. It's tough to tell who's down, but we know Devin Rosna is consoling him. Rosna, a veteran leader on this team, the senior.
This is not a good sight, Charlie. It appears maybe to be a head, a concussion. He's not looking at the lights. What happens, it's number 7, Jacob Moore. Looks...
You just have to hope the best for him.
Something bad, yeah.
Now on his back. So clock stopped with just under 13 minutes to play.
Yeah, we definitely hope he's okay. Checking on him right now. I mean, if I had to guess anything, I don't want to. It appears to be maybe a head or upper body injury. That's kind of where they're checking right now. But, yeah, hopefully they can get him up, and he is up. We're going to help him to the bench.
And he gets a standing ovation from the crowd right below us, and sub coming in for the Cardinals, and you never want to see something like that. Moore walking off on his own power, certainly a good sign, but
yeah, just got his
just
bell
gotta
rung
hope for
a
the
little.
Best.
Yeah, so hitting the head hard, never fun. Maybe he sees birds or something. I've been there, a couple concussions. It's not fun, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a little head injury. They always take great precaution with that, especially nowadays. As for looking ahead for Notre Dame, a good time to do that. Our next game, you talked about Navy losing by, what, 70-some points? In New Jersey, my homeland, New Jersey. So the Garden State on October 25th against the United States Naval Academy. I want to say that game is at MetLife Stadium. Is it? Am I correct, Charlie?
It very well could be. There is a Notre Dame football game
Yes.
at MetLife Stadium around that time, so it certainly seems like it is an option, but either way, that'll be a tough one for Notre Dame against the always talented midshipmen of Navy, and knock on here against Notre Dame.
Yeah, Navy on Rugby Hawk right now. Number 2, Air Force, who are very good. They beat them 79-14, and they beat Army, another top team in the country, 32-5. So it's been a fun year for the Navy midshipmen.
Yeah, they are truly a consistent, perennial powerhouse in rugby, and so that'll be the next toughest game for Notre Dame coming off of this one, where, again, you have to think this is about 99% positives here for Notre Dame, arguably 100%, but it's not going to get any easier from here for the Irish, as Louisville forces the turnover, tackling the Notre Dame ball carrier into touch. Under 12 to play in this one. 24-point lead for Notre Dame, looking more and more comfortable with every second that ticks off the clock.
Good pickup there, little progressive play for Notre Dame. It's good to see. Haven't had Notre Dame do that in a couple of minutes now. So if they can find their footing again and put some more points on the board, that would be huge. It was Connor Mulligan yet again making a play for the Irish.
And so Notre Dame had been playing with advantage. So once again, the referee will call it backward as Louisville gets the defensive stand, but doesn't lead to possession as they have to defend again. Irish going one by one all the way out to Banton here on the far side, and Banton is going to try to break a tackle. Able to throw it overhand to keep it in touch, taken by Tom Curran. Again, one of the players who's just into the game for Notre Dame.
Zach Banton, it looks like he's playing street ball out there. He's just having fun with it, running around guys, the overhead throw, carrying it just so freely, and he is so dangerous when he's running with the ball out on the wing. Would like to see in these next 10 minutes Notre Dame maybe swing it to him again and let Zach Banton cook, because we all know he can after watching last game.
Louisville with the ball now. Penalty called against them, however. So the teams trade penalties within the last minute or so, and so it'll be Notre Dame possession, and they'll get a chance to kick it for some ground. And surprise, surprise, despite all the substitutions being made, including one right now, is exiting the pitch is Lucy. And the freshman Mike Miotaszewski comes in, number 18 in Navy. But surprise, surprise, Colin Artis stays in the game, and he kicks it, and it's a pretty good kick at that. Our press box is pretty thrilled with that one.
It's good to see Miotaszewski come in because it's another freshman into the game, and this freshman class might be one of the greatest we have seen here for Notre Dame rugby. So many top talents on it. You look at Will Linke, Miotaszewski, of course, Race Bates, and there's, of course, so many more are missing. Is Zach Banton a freshman, correct? Or I don't have it.
Zach Banton is a freshman out of London.
So many talented guys that are in their first year, and credit to Hickey for bringing them in and getting them to buy into the culture.
Yeah, we talked about briefly in the open, Chris, about the size of the Louisville freshman class. 23 freshmen, not all of them, of course, dressed today, but with the team. And for Notre Dame, it's more about the quality of theirs. And, no shortage in numbers, but, wow, there's a big tackle. What a play by Rocco Ballesteri. The big hit for Louisville. Speaking of freshmen, he's out of San Diego. That was a big hit.
MMA takedown as Will Linke, 150 pounds, delivering one of his own. The smallest guy on the pitch, but he's got the heart of a lion. The guy is fearless.
But he's going to be a little too fearless. Gets a yellow.
It's his second of the game, so understandably as he goes to the sin bin. Earlier in the game, he got sent off, or foul called on him for the same exact reason on the near side of the pitch, close to the box.
So Notre Dame will play with 14 for a brief moment. 8 minutes to go in this one. Thanks for joining us on this Friday evening. It was a beautiful, clear day. There's some cloud cover entering as well as the sun dipping down. As here in South Bend, it's a very warm day, and not what you want to see if you're Notre Dame is an injury. Matt Williams is down, and he is not getting up. One of the few starters still left in the game, and he'll be attended to by the medical staff as Louisville tries their hand at some offense, but the referee will blow it. I guess knock-on called. Tough to tell if That ball was actually hit forward, but with the dropped pass, it's called a knock-on anyway as the clock stops briefly and now continues to roll as Williams gets to his feet, favoring his right leg, walking to the sideline on his own power. Of course, rugby players, still tough, Chris.
Yeah, the sky is blue, the dome is golden, and Matt Williams
is not even coming out of the game.
Yeah, he's going to stay in the game. Would not want to see Williams go. He has been huge at the hooker position so far. They control the scrum. They throw for the lineouts. Matt Williams hasn't really messed up at all in those positions. And we've seen Louisville, they've had a lack of success in those areas, right? They've lost a lineout before. They've lost a scrum. You don't see that, and a huge part is because of the flawless passing and execution on Matt Williams and to make sure it's all successful.
Kick is blocked. Getting his hand on it was Johnson, the try scorer for Louisville, but Notre Dame has it back. And another big tackle behind the play by the Cardinals.
Whoever bet the over on blocks in this game is a rich man right now.
Yeah, bunch of block kicks in this game by both sides. Notre Dame with the advantage in that stat early, but Louisville getting a couple now as ball carrier will go to the ground. Trying to burst through the scene is Chase Kelty. Notre Dame holds strong. Kelty, though, a pretty solid run.
Yeah.
Nearly picked off, and it's Packard, who thought he was home free, but wasn't able to come up with it cleanly. So great play, but knock on it is. Under 6 to go.
Yeah, Andrew Packard is the heartbeat and the epicenter of this team. He's just always high energy, and he's been a guy who's been out there the whole game, Charlie. Most of his teammates who started the game with him are now in the dugout, but Packard's still out there going strong. You love to see that if your coach Hickey just shows the resilience of Packard. As for the subs to have come in, this is also a great experience because Louisville, even though it is 29-5, still a very good team. This is a team who won the national championship in sevens in the spring. So great reps and great minutes in the tank for these subs.
Yeah, and if you think that they're just good at sevens, that would be a lie. They're the runner-ups at the AA level 2 years in a row, and certainly in contention to be in that finals game again this year. But this will certainly be a setback for them that I don't think they were anticipating. Of course, you didn't know what you're going to get in Notre Dame, a much improved team from last year in Louisville without really much in the way of difficult games so far, and certainly got the beast here, the Irish coming out strong. And Louisville had the ball in control for the first 5-6 minutes of this game, and ever since it's been all Irish as that throw a little bit too far out in front of his intended target as Liam Johnson threw it in the direction of Eberle, but those two failed to connect.
Yeah, Liam Johnson just working hard, trying to create something. And can we talk about Chase Kelty on Louisville, the 8-man? Hurtling over a Notre Dame defender. I don't think I've ever seen that. Phenomenal play just about a minute ago.
We're just over 4 minutes to go in the second half. 24-point lead for Notre Dame. Very little scoring in this second half. Just a kick and a try for the Irish. 8 points for them. Louisville not on the board in the half yet. Trying to change that now as they're by the 22. It's picked up by the Irish briefly, but a strong counter ruck. But it's called an illegal counter ruck.
Illegal counter ruck by Louisville.
Good call
So
there,
Irish
Charlie.
ball. Nearly a break for the Cardinals, but instead it'll be Irish with possession, 3:40 to play here on the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel. Thanks again for tuning in on your Friday evening. Another home weekend of sports for Notre Dame. Men's soccer in action later tonight. Football at home tomorrow as well. They're playing the Stanford Cardinal. So here it's
Just
the
a
Louisville
Cardinal.
Cardinals,
Yeah.
the bird,
We
down
got-
by 24 to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in rugby. And tomorrow will be the Stanford Cardinal, the color, taking on the Notre Dame football team.
Yeah, just one Cardinal comes to town. Right now there's a lot. Not all jokes, Lance.
The Cardinal have always confused me because they're called the Cardinal, like the color,
Yeah.
but their mascot's a tree. Their logo is a tree,
Oh, it's
and their
unofficial.
mascot is a bird.
I think the tree is unofficial because I've looked
Okay.
into this. They played Notre Dame men's soccer this year, and I messed up. And the whole article I wrote, Cardinals, had to go edit it. And then I also had to remove the trees because apparently the trees I want to say it's unofficial. I don't think Stanford fully embraces the tree, even though back in the day playing college football 14, it was fun mascot mode, leprechauns versus cardinals, or excuse me, leprechauns versus trees. That was my favorite go-to game. Also, the oranges from Syracuse were fun to play as.
So funny you bring up college football 14, excuse me, with now 25 out, but great story is you never really know. I'm sure if you were to go to Stanford's campus, you'd see a bunch of trees everywhere. Well, of course you'd see trees, but you'd hear about the trees. And if you have to edit a story again, Chris, and you have to change cardinals to cardinal, I recommend Control H, find and replace.
Yes,
makes it a lot easier for you.
I did.
Okay.
Also,
makes it way quicker instead of meticulously going through and counting.
Well, I also want to mention I don't have the new college football game. Just didn't want to spend the money on it. Don't play video games in college. I don't have the time, so.
It's a birthday gift from me, from my lovely brothers, and thank you to them for that, as it's been kind of fun. I'm still pretty bad at it. But either way, Notre Dame and Stanford on the football field tomorrow. Notre Dame Rugby, as you were mentioning their upcoming schedule, they'll be on the road the rest of October. They don't play at home again until November 2nd. And then it's after that, November 10th is going to be a crazy week here at Stinson Rugby Field. Stay tuned for that one in just under a month's time. The Big Ten Championship that Notre Dame is hosting. That's 4 games starting at 11 a.m. on Saturday, November 10th. So join us for that one for sure. That'll be a fun day. Chris and I will be with you that whole time.
It's going to be a fun day of rugby. Lots of good, high-quality teams coming in, and going to be so many good games to call. A lot of fun players to watch as well. As for Notre Dame, this is their last true regular season home game. And then, of course, Navy, and then they're done. It's the Big Ten semifinals, the Big Ten championship on November 10th, and then, God willing, the playoffs, the college rugby playoffs for Notre Dame to have a run at the national championship. It's going to be tough. It's a very steep hill they have to climb. However, with the way they're playing right now, if Notre Dame can play smart and if they could play very tactical and know what their players are good at, right, and what they're suited to do. Right now, you see Patrick McKenzie on the ball. He's a brick wall just running through guys. If you can get Zach Banton out wide to run wild like he can, I think Notre Dame has a chance to maybe make an impression against some of those teams.
Yeah, certainly have the team to make some noise in whatever playoff format they're playing in once November hits. And Louisville, similar proceedings for them. Their regular season winding down, and they're starting up their playoffs, and it'll be kicked into touch by Artis, and that will do it. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish pitch a second half shutout, and they limit Louisville to 5 points overall. It's a 29-5 win for Notre Dame.
Yeah, what a game for the Irish. You could not have drawn that one up any better against an opponent who's ranked higher than them coming into the game. And Notre Dame just makes such a huge statement, puts college rugby on notice. This was one of the games of the week in college rugby. 2 great teams going at it, and Notre Dame showed that they are here to stay at the top of the college rugby world. A lot of freshmen getting in there, a lot of sophomores. This is a young team, and the sky is the limit for Notre Dame.
Thanks for joining us on the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel. For our entire crew, Nick Ruthroff behind the scenes, Sam Ohaj directing, Walter Hoffman and Jane Kim on cameras, and my partner, Chris Daly. I'm Charlie Morris saying good night from South Bend. We remind you to scan the QR code on your screen to help donate to the APMRF and the Parsegian Cup. Thanks for joining us. So long from South Bend.